Mike's Daily Podcast.
Do not watch the barking murders.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
What's he talking about? Yeah, that is a show that you can watch on BBC, or I guess it's called the BritBox to you and me, but it is a show. It's a 3-episode series. I don't know. It's very depressing because it's based on a true story that happened.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
In the area called Barking in England. So
Mike's
I watched the whole thing,
Daily
even though
Podcast.
it made me angry.
Yeah!
It's probably why I'm in an angry mood today. That, and I got a nasty email from someone, and I'm just not in the mood. So, yeah, you got Raw Mike today. Raw Meat Mike. We're in Podcastro Valley Cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. FF episode 2448. Last FF episode, I would like you to listen to 2447. It was called Behemoth. And it featured my lovely lady friend. And it was very wonderful because she is a joy. And she had some interesting insights and we had a lot of fun. So check that podcast out now at mikesdailypodcast.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Yeah, it's very interesting these days that not so many podcasts are being listened to. And if they are being listened to, it is done in such a way that it is pre-recorded, everything's written out. It is more of a radio drama, and it always has to do with murder. Always has to do with murder. Somebody has been murdered. And as someone who has just watched a awful murder series on BritBox, I will tell you, I don't need it. I really don't.
And here's today's podcast picture.
There's just too much, that kind of stuff in this world. But the podcast picture today is going to be a recent one, probably from Podcastro Valley. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. The fantastic picture from my lovely lady friend when she went to Shasta. That's also at mikesdailypodcast.com. That was the last podcast picture. I'm just not in the mood, and today I decided I really, really need to make a change. I've been busting my back. That's right, the late great Basil the Boxer. He's angry too. Or that's more of a playful bark, but yes. And life is too short. Life is too short. And usually when I do a podcast on Monday, I'm fed up because of the previous week and everything that happened, and I'm like, I've had enough. But today I'm really feeling it, and I'm feeling like a major change is going to happen today. About to send off an email. Because of stuff that happened to me. And I think I've had it. I've been working actually nonstop for almost 2 weeks on a project, and it's been very, very trying for me. And I think my company is asking me to do a lot more than that A, I get paid for, and B, that they should expect. They expect way too much from me, and I deliver too much to them that I don't get credit for. So I think I'm done. However, before I send an email, I should have an idea of what I want to achieve. Am I looking to, what am I trying to do? I guess is the first question. And then decide, have a meaningful subject line. I do have a good subject line for this email I'm about to send. Usage of capital letters. Capital letters are always very annoying to read. Make sure to use them sparingly. Interesting. dealing with attachments. So often we miss attachments. When you attach something, people don't usually see it. And as we talked about last podcast, people don't usually scroll down. That's why the podcasts that are lower on the list, or the people that you're searching for, the companies you're searching for, the ones that aren't in the top 3, they often are missed. And it's really ridiculous. I think as consumers, if we don't want to fall into the trap of what Google wants us to see, forcing our eyes, Google is forcing our eyes because they know we want whatever is the easiest, we should scroll down. We should look in the next couple of pages. And in the next couple of years, as Google makes it more and more difficult to not see their product, we should A, stop using Google, B, go even further into the pages to find stuff that isn't being pushed on us. People that are paying money to have their product pushed on us. Go with more organic results. Organic results. That's what it all comes down to. Organic results. The high priority option. This is one of the powerful tools to indicate to the recipient it's extremely important, but it is overused and it loses the actual importance, and also sometimes it creates an impact that you're slightly aggressive in nature when you flag it as high priority all the time. There is also disclaimer information. As an individual, if you're sending a personal email, then it's a top priority. The usage of the company firm.
Baloney.
Suppose if an employee unknowingly sends virus to the recipient, and because of this, if the recipient claim damage from the company at the point of time, if the employee has this disclaimer at the bottom of the email saying, please check the data before you download. We are not liable to any virus-prone attacks. That's the disclaimer they're talking about. And I guess that is a helpful disclaimer to have for legal reasons. Abbreviations and emoticons and emojis, be careful with those. Don't use obscene and offensive language. Use the proper use of grammar and avoid spelling mistakes. Usually that is a sign that you are being sent something that is untoward when you get that kind of email. And reply to all. It's one of the most wonderful options, and it's frequently misused. Before even clicking on this, you need to decide the recipients to which you want to convey the message. It will create a lot of confusion and irrelevant data to a particular user, maybe not to some, but definitely to some, as I have seen and witnessed.
What in the world was that about?
Also, in the corporate world, for each individual, there will be a specific bandwidth allocated. If you are using reply to all, that will create memory space related issues to all the users who are not actually required and are not involved. So just be cognizant of that. That from .netfunda.com. And there is someone here who wrote this article that had involvement in developing desktop web-based ASP.NET and other things I don't know. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Look who's here. Hi, Mark. It's Benina the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled field player tell you what.
What?
So, what's an email?
That's one of those things. It's an electronic mail. It's got like a subject line and all kinds of fun stuff in it. And you can send links or...
I like links. I like hot links. They're delicious.
Nah, it's not what it is, but if it was, that would make him even better. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer. How's tomato?
This looks really good. Hey, the fair is going on. Near to us in Podcaster Valleyton, the last place on earth. Cafe, anyway. That was good. What kind of root beer is that?
It's a kind of organic root beer. I'll cut you.
I don't know what that gibberish was, but that's all that matters is results. Results are what matter.
Awesome.
And that's the end of the podcast today. If you want a longer one, hey, there's a 40-minute one that I posted just before this one last night. But I'm busy today with all kinds of crazy drama and whatnot. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rutabaga Valentino and Bison Bentley. 336mm Daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6. As in Mike Matthews. Daily isn't what this podcast tries to be or has been for the past 2 days. We'll see if it gets back to daily again. If the craziness surrounding me goes away. It may go away once I send this email, but we'll see. But if you'd like to chime in, you can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Chime away. Like wind chimes. They're so pretty to listen to. Or 336mm Daily, you can call me there. And to take us out, it is A-Frame. Hey, I hope the rest of your day is enjoyable. Send us a nice email if you'd like to. And to do that, she's got info on that.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!